And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
What is going on, everybody?
The Titanic has sunken again.
We're exploring the deep seas, 13,000 feet under.
I'm the king of the world.
Oh boy.
You think anybody's gonna find that big ass jewel or ruby or whatever it was that rose through in?
Maybe that's what they're looking for. You never know.
Dude, I would not be shocked. Why would you not look for that?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Come on now,
Is there
son?
even really there?
Is
You know
that
what I'm saying?
truth?
No, I don't think
Did
so.
that actually happen?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
There might be some other
Anyway.
jewels down there. Just saying.
Maybe they're going to find all those billionaires that they offed when they sunk the ship.
Yeah, they're keeping it up, dude. Trying to off the billionaires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like when you look at the story of the Titanic and who sunk on the Titanic,
Yeah.
right? Like the Astor family, all these like rich ass families that they died.
Had some
and then
huge
eventually.
influence.
Well, yeah, and it eventually just led to the World Bank being created.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, that was a coincidence.
The Titanic is still sinking billionaires, dude. You know what I mean? To
It
this
is,
day.
dude.
We're going to get into that for sure. But guys, make sure you follow everything and subscribe to everything that we have. We have a bunch of new channels up. I know Greg and Chris, you guys have been working really hard on getting that stuff pushed forward. So
Yes.
make sure you guys get on there, review, and do all that stuff.
Yeah, at The Last Americans Podcast on Instagram, everywhere. So at The Last Americans Podcast. So just do that.
Yeah, it helps us a lot. So we appreciate that. I also want to just real quick before you jump in, I want to give a quick shout out. It's our anniversary today. Me and my wife's
happy
anniversary. 9 years, been together.
I thought you were going to say you and Chris.
No, well, I mean, there's probably an anniversary for that coming up too, but
I don't know.
I don't know when the exact
The first
day was.
time you stuck his dick in you?
The first time I looked into his eyes
Jeez.
and was like, he's going to be
Don't
my
act like
friend.
you're shocked, Chris. Come on.
No, it's I just want to give a shout out. It's a 9-year anniversary. I've been together for 13 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Happy anniversary,
Yeah,
Dave and Jill.
congratulations.
Thank you. She's awesome. She's been very helpful. So with your wife, I mean, they've been amazing with this whole journey that we're on. So shout out to them, to all the wives right there. You guys,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to get into this, the submarine situation, dude. It's kind of taken over the news right now, and rightfully. I mean, it's kind of has all the characteristics of things that Americans and people of the world love, right? There's
Search and rescue.
Yeah.
You got million billionaires on this
Million
thing.
billionaires.
Well, I don't remember if the other one's a billionaire. One's a billionaire for sure.
All of them have money.
Yeah, so this thing is interesting, man, and I haven't dived extremely deep on it yet. But yesterday, they started releasing some of the names, which then, in turn, last night I was in bed and I was like, who are these fucking guys? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? I don't know I don't really know. I don't have a tie. So if you're looking for like this groundbreaking information, it's not going to happen here. But I want to start putting the pieces, like, what does this dude do? Who are these two gentlemen?
Yeah.
And what really happened here?
Well, let's take a step back real quick and explain what exactly happened, right?
Yeah.
So you had this deep sea exploring company called Oceangate, and they went down to go explore the Titanic wreckage, and they did not return to the surface, okay?
Yeah.
So they were overdue. Now, this thing it costs a pretty penny to join this thing.
$250,000.
$250,000 to get a seat on this thing, right?
There actually is no seat.
There's no seats.
Oh.
You have to
Okay.
you have to sit Indian style.
Yeah, you have to.
Wait a second, you racist white man. What did you just say?
It is a term that is used, Indian style. You know what I'm saying? Cross-legged.
It's called hot cross bun, bro. Okay?
Yeah, that's true. Hot cross
Hot
bun.
cross bun.
Get politically correct.
Is that? I've never heard that term since I was like 7.
I like
Hot
you said,
cross
I've
bun.
never heard that term since I was like 7.
Yeah, whatever.
Since I was like
I
7.
haven't. No, this is Oceangate. Yeah, man. So to your point, like, it's very expensive to go on this thing. Like, this is not something that me and you or anybody we know would be on. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to happen. But at the same time, and I kind of want to talk about that too, was that this vessel, although it looks cool from the outside, it's pretty chintzy, bro. Like
Oh,
for
no.
as
On the
expensive,
inside?
yeah, dude, for the expensive, like as an expensive trip this is, and like to Chris's point, we were talking about before the show, like they've made this, trip multiple times.
Yeah, this isn't like the first time people have seen the fucking Titanic. They've been doing it for decades.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They've been seeing the Titanic, but those are like, those are explorers and stuff with lots of money backing them. This is more of a private thing. This is a private situation.
All of them are private. Like,
like
everyone
the Steven
before, when
Spielberg
they
thing.
have like their own little fucking things that they have, and they go down there and they see it, and then
But the
like,
other ones
to Dave's point, though, the interior, Dave is a snob for interior decoration. Okay, so if you have a car, and it's like $1 million car, but the inside is literally like a $10,000, blah 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 blah. He's like, fuck this car.
That's why Tesla sucks, dude. Cheap fucking products.
Exactly.
Cheap ass fucking cars, dude. No, it's not just that. Like, I care about that. Like, you're on a submarine, right? You expect it to be a little more rugged. It's a submarine. You know what I mean? To some extent, this isn't like the movies, right? Where you have these robotic arms and shit that you're controlling and stuff necessarily. Like, this is just a submarine that's taking you down to look at it. You know?
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
Where's the pictures that you're looking at?
Go to my TikTok.
Okay.
Okay.
A couple years back, there was a journalist or a news agency that had went to the submarine and was just kind of taking a tour of it. And the dude, it's the first video here. Like, there's shit that they just bought at like fucking Home Goods and Lowe's, bro. And just
IKEA. This is all IKEA'd out, bro. Oh no!
But look at they have literally no seats, and look how it's ran.
An experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death.
Okay. So they're forewarned.
Oh.
So this is the submarine.
Shoes off. That's customary. Okay. Wow.
God,
You're literally sitting in a pipe.
There's 5 people
This
in
is
there.
not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. It shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the.
Hold on.
There's one
my
button.
God, there's one button driving this thing.
We only got
there's
one
not.
button, and it's literally down.
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah.
It actually,
elevator, yeah.
so it has a single button in the actual submarine, but the submarine is actually ran by a video game
It's ran
controller.
remotely.
It's a video game controller. They literally show it here in a second.
Okay.
There's a TV and a toilet that they say was only used if necessary.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea.
Watch this shit.
It's
I
also
should eat
There's the
that
toilet.
chicken
Oh,
sandwich
there's the
before
toilet.
sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub
Right here.
seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole
Camper
thing
World?
with this game controller.
Come on! It's
Yeah.
You're paying $250,000 for this?
Even the reporter's like, "Come on, man."
You're asking to die going down on that.
This is what I'm saying. That's what
You
I'm
got
saying, man.
parts to your submarine from Camper World?
World. Now, so have this was an older video though, so have they like made some
Oh, dude,
better adjustments?
Sure. I'm sure that there's been some. But the point is and he said it in the very beginning, this thing has not been regulated. This has not been looked at. This is just some dude with money put this shit together.
Granted, I don't really care that much about
Yeah.
the PS3 controller, but like, because they do that a lot with a whole bunch of different things, just because it's
At least
it
upgrade
works
to a
well.
PS5, bro.
Yeah, I mean.
But man, there was like tape on things, like showing this is what this is tape.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just feel like hardwired. Like I don't really like the idea that you're like 2 miles underwater and you're running everything wirelessly. Like the remote is wireless.
Yeah.
Like hardwire that shit in there, because we obviously have like a technology issue here. They lost. So we've seen this, right? We see how rough this thing is. At least at one point, I'm sure it's been upgraded to some extent, but maybe not. If it worked, it worked. You know what I'm saying? But we saw that they lost communications. They couldn't get a hold of them. And it's like, you're deep in the water. You have no way of getting a hold of them. Elon Musk is actually, they use the whatever link to have communications.
Neuralink?
Neuralink was used for this, so that they communicate with the boats above. So tying Elon into this a little bit.
Go to the Twitter bookmarks, because I bookmarked a picture. It's more of an illustration that somebody drew, and they're like, so this is saying, like, I've been seeing people ask, why is it so difficult to find a submersible? And the depths that we're talking about, it's a huge vessel, right? The Titanic was a huge vessel. So 882 feet. It's almost 50,000 tons with 52,000 tons submerged displacement. It's 2.5 miles below the surface.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, it's just like humongous, like, cause it's split in half or something, like the bow in the stern.
Yep. Yeah. It's not just that. It's that like they lost communications. And to this point, this graph uses at this depth, like where they're at, a hole in a pressurized scuba tank, instead of air being released, water would be sucked in, right? There's just a huge amount of pressure. Yeah. And so it's not a good thing that they lost communications.
I wonder if they like tested this out. Like, did they send it down without anybody in it and drove it around before?
I'm sure, dude.
This thing has been down there before. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this isn't the first. I mean, that video.
That's what I'm saying.
How long ago?
That's what I wanted to know. Like,
a couple years at least.
How tested were the communication systems in this?
I think they were tested. I just think that like when you do these things, and we've seen this, and they talked about it in the articles. Especially one of the guys that was on it was talking about, he was an explorer basically, and they said that they understand the risks of this stuff. I mean, they're going to areas that a lot of people don't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a possibility of something going bad, and unfortunately, when you're that low, like something going bad is pretty much catastrophe. You know what I mean?
Do you guys find it like interesting that, when you have like a controversial issue, it always ends with gate, like that it was named, Watergate.
It was now named Gate, yeah.
Oceangate, you know what I mean? So come on, bro. It was like bound to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to find these guys. They're doing a mission right now to try to locate them.
Yeah.
The issue is that this particular submarine has, only so much air in it. I think it was up to like 90 something hours.
Hours.
Last I heard, when they were like sending out the search and rescue, they had about 60 hours left of oxygen.
And that's assuming that.
And it had already been 24 hours.
Yeah. And that's just assuming that it like just lost communications. But apparently, not through this article, but there was, 6 or 7 steps to get this thing back to the surface. There was multiple avenues of getting this back. And, there were some people commenting that the fact that none of those were done is not a great thing. It says that maybe they're not there. They're not alive anymore. That this thing took on water, who knows? But the fact that there's no communication and that none of this has resurfaced yet, with all the options to resurface.
Well, let's get into who was on board here, at least who we know.
Yeah,
right?
So there was 5 total people, man. I don't have the full list, but there was the gentleman running the submarine. There was another underwater guy, which kind of looking them up, I'm sure their names will pop up somewhere, but looking them up, they were just part of this crew. They were underwater explorers. The names that I think are interesting is the Hamish. I don't know if that's how you'd say it.
I think it is. It's Hamish
Harding. This dude is a UAE-based British businessman, pilot, explorer, and space tourist.
He should wear a shirt that just says like, "I go ham."
I go ham.
100% ham. You know what I mean?
I go ham-ish.
I go ham-ish.
This
within reason.
This dude's very, very wealthy, man. He's a very wealthy person. And he
looks like if Richie Rich got old.
A little bit.
That is true. That is true. Like a young Macaulay Culkin grew up.
Yeah, he's got the old space bow tie on, dude.
Show him one more time. I didn't. What? Oh yeah, bro. Look at that bow tie with like the red, white, and blue. Is that an Olympic medal?
He won a medal. He's won many.
And
medals.
That's a space bow tie. That has planets on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this dude's very wealthy. He worked for the Antarctic VIP tourism company, White Desert, which I thought was interesting. I actually have this one I sent you, but this company, just looking it up real quick, they actually would take trips to the Antarctic, which we've talked about many, many a times. And you could rent like a shack, spaces as they call it. And they have like these set times that you can go. And for like, what is it? 5 days, $62,000. If you want to go to this other camp, it's like $104,000 for a week.
Yeah.
Very expensive. And we all know the Antarctic is very exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is saying that Harding also visited the South Pole a number of times, accompanying Buzz Aldrin in 2016.
Yep.
And he became the oldest person ever to reach the South Pole. Now, that's coming from Wikipedia. So
I've looked this up, and the reason I actually put up Wikipedia is because I actually looked up the articles and found that most of this is accurate. So I'm using it as a reference here. But so he did that. He also he went to space, which is interesting.
He went to space on the Dick rocket with Bezos.
He went on the cock rocket.
I don't know if he went on the Dick rocket.
Yeah, he went on Blue Origins, dude.
Oh, it was Blue Origin, NS-21 mission. Yes, he did. You're right. So on the 5th space flight of the New Shepard rocket, the New Dick rocket.
Shepard. Oh yeah.
So he did that, and then he also flew around the world, and that was documented for it was a documentary. It was all live streamed. So he flew around the world, pole to pole, and he actually had a world record for that, for the how fast it was. They had 4 stops, and they did it quickly. So they refueled and just kept going.
It was 46 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. And it went from like South Pole to North Pole, that direction.
Which let's not skip over this though. This isn't the first deep dive that he's went into the ocean. Okay, he went to the deepest point of Mariana Trench.
He broke a record with that as well. He has a Guinness World Record. He went down to the Mariana Trench. So he's been to the deepest.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? I thought nobody has been down there.
Well, to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that we've been to the deepest actual part. But this is what
this says. He dived down to the deepest point of the Mariana Trench at 36,000 feet in a 2-man submarine, setting the record for the greatest length covered and the greatest time spent at the full ocean depth.
Yeah.
So this guy's seen some shit.
He's seen some shit, bro.
Yeah.
In August of 2022, Harding was introduced into the Living Legends of Aviation.
Inducted, yeah.
He was inducted into that. And now, listen, I got to be real with you. I don't know if I put much weight on that because Tom Cruise is in that. So,
okay.
Hey, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts. I saw his recent Mission Impossible video. Okay, come on.
Sure. So this dude is definitely like what you would consider a modern explorer, right? Like to an extent. He's not like, what he's doing is risky. He's trying to go to places that most people have not been. And to be honest with you, it's impressive, right? The fact that you went to the North-South Pole, you flew over it, not many people have. The fact that you went to space, the fact that you went to the deepest part of the ocean, like that's some pretty significant shit.
Yeah.
Dude, this is stuff that I feel like Elon Musk should be doing. You know what I mean? Like a billionaire who's bored.
I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to create the shit to do it, but I don't think he actually wants to do it. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't want to go to Mars?
Well, listen, it's high risk, man. Like this is super high risk shit. Like going to the Mariana Trench is dangerous.
Yeah, 2-man submarine. Hello.
I feel like you're probably right. Elon's more like, hey, I'll build you a rocket so you can go.
Yeah, I mean, he would go, I think, once it was tested and checked out multiple times. I think he may go, but...
he has, like, risk analysis brain.
Yeah.
Like, I'm computing 73% chance of me dying. I will not go.
So this Hamish Harding guy, he actually was the founder. He's an entrepreneur, and he was the founder of Action Group, okay, which I want to dive into down the road more once I think more information comes out. But basically, this group is a private equity investment group. Which, this is where I think is interesting. This guy is very, very rich. He's an explorer, lots of ties. He's based out of Dubai. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking a lot of money, a lot of wealth. This Action Group, they have Action Aviation, which is a aviation brokerage company. So they're selling planes, bro. Mm-hmm. So then my brain last night was going like, who, Epstein? Like, what's going on? Like, who's involved, man? Who'd he sell planes to?
For sure, dude. Yeah.
He's done all that. He has a property group, which they invest in luxury apartments and properties around the world. They can build facilities for you. They also have a production company.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, Hollywood production company, which was started in 2010. They're partnered with Hollywood Productions. It's called Untitled. Look that up, and there's a bunch of commercials and shit that companies they work for. Then there's One More Orbit, which is the Around the Earth that he did, where they actually made a documentary from Vision Films. So you're talking about a group here that is everything encompassed into one.
Yeah, he has all the right stuff to fake anything he wanted.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could go that route for sure, dude. I mean, he's got the
and you're talking about
companies,
money coming from United Arab Emirates, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like some Eastern money, like, What's going on over there? I don't know.
So one thing that I noticed that people were talking about, if you go to the article from the FAI.org, it should be up there. So one thing that people were talking about on Twitter is this guy supposedly went around the Earth, right? He went North Pole, South Pole, and the whole thing. Well, some people aren't real smart. They look at a flat map, okay, and they see his pathway. Yeah, this one here.
Well, it's a flat Earth, Dave. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Well, if it's not a flat Earth, that's what I'm talking about. So on the flat Earth map that we all see, right, the map of the world, his trajectory went down and circled around, Antarctica and went back up to the North Pole and back around. And they were saying, I find it real funny that he didn't even cross the Antarctica. He just fucking circled around it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
When you actually look at this map here, this is the actual global map. You can see that he actually did go, if you believe the Earth is round, that he actually went around the Earth. He actually crossed all the way through the South Pole. You can see the trajectory here.
Dang, so they let him see the pole?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Supposedly.
So that's like unheard of.
Supposedly, right? So he supposedly did this. Now, he's been there multiple times. He has the whatever that company was, white whatever.
Yeah. White Desert. And
they go and take trips down there. So he's been there multiple times.
Yeah, but coming from the flat Earth side, you take this globe that they put there and you flatten that out, and he just did a big circle.
Well, so my question would be, yes. So when you look at it on a flat scale, it looks like a kind of a football shape that he went around, right?
Yeah.
But like the point would be, he's already been to space. Okay, so if he went up to space, he would have seen himself if the Earth is flat, right? He would have known.
How far into space did he go?
Maybe that's what he went up to space first and goes, "Hey, this is a flat world. I'm gonna set another record. Let's say that I went from pole to pole."
Yeah.
He's like, that's doable.
But my
right?
point is like, if it was flat, let's say hypothetically it was flat, right? Like, how could he have gone? You know what I'm saying? There's no way to he couldn't have gone over the edge because there's supposedly a firmament there. You know what I'm saying? So of course it's going to show it.
You can go up high enough to see space, to see it's black up there, and see like whatever, like, just like that Red Bull fucking guy that did that skydive from whatever 100,000 feet or whatever.
They went higher than that though. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, for sure. I mean, let's just agree that the Earth is not flat for now. And then we'll just make this.
What I'm saying is you can say, I mean, you could look at the South Pole here, Antarctica, and you can see the entire continent, right?
Yeah.
It's not squished like it is on a flat map, and you can see that he supposedly went through basically the center, and then kind of veered off a little bit and started going back up to the other side. Went to the North Pole. And so, point I'm trying to make is it was a huge thing because not a lot of people get the opportunity. This dude, for whatever reason, has done it all. Even working with Buzz Aldrin.
And he has a shitload of money, bro. So it's just like, with this guy missing, what happens to his lineage? What happens to his money? Because his son was also down there with him.
No,
right?
No, his son was
that's not the guy?
No, it's a different guy. That they're from, they're a different
the UK
group.
guy.
He's a billionaire. No, this is the yeah. So this is
the Dawood father and son.
Well, let's get into that guy.
Shahzada Dawood. He's 48 years old, and his son, who was 19, was on this expedition as well. Very young, very unfortunate, right? If something happens, this dude is in a UK based. So they're not from the UK, but they're UK based. Father and son trapped on lost Titanic submarine, alongside billionaire Brit. So that's the one we just talked about, Hamish. He's a Navy commander, warns there's no way, blah, blah, blah. So this dude, he's interesting as well. He is involved in the Engro Corporation. He is, right here, it says on this, a board member of the Prince's Trust charity. And his son, Solomon Dawood, was on board the 22-foot craft. But this guy
Prince's Trust.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really know, but he sits on the board of Engro Corporation. And they have the same situation. They have multiple companies. They hired like some 2,600 individuals across this group. The subsidiaries include Engro Fertilizers, Engro Agri Products. You have Engro Energy, Power Gen, Quadrupur. List goes on. Engro Polymer and Chemicals. I mean, you're talking about a huge list of stuff that this guy runs. So he's heavily involved. And revenue for this company, $248 billion in 2020. So a lot of money going around this place, man. But I don't really know what the hell the Prince's Trust is. That one.
Well, dude, so I clicked on that link, and this is inside of the Daily Mail article, and what it does is it expands into a list of other Daily Mail articles that have to do with the Prince's Trust.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going on to say, like, Buckingham Palace, and you have, like, the king and the queen kind of tied up in this stuff, too.
Okay.
So this might have to do with the royal family over there as well, like the Prince's Trust.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about when we started the show, is like, this is an introduction. Their names, I think, were released yesterday.
Yeah.
And so you got two figures who seemingly both have a lot of money, who have a lot of power in certain aspects, right? And probably have a lot of inside friends. I mean, let's be real. Greg, you brought it up in the very beginning. The Titanic was sunk with a bunch of billionaires, or at the time, millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Very, very important people that kind of changed history a little bit.
Yeah.
And so,
or change the direction of a lot of countries.
Yeah, and now you get this expedition that allows citizens to pay a fee and go down there. And of course, they get. There's only 5 people, 2 of which are running the operation, and so 3 of them. One is a 19-year-old. The other 2 are very important figures in a lot of ways. They go down, and now they're missing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were joking earlier that the Titanic's still taking down billionaires and millionaires, but they kind of are, dude. You know what I'm saying? Is there something more to this? If your mind gets conspiratorial, Greg, and I know your brains are racking right now, where does this go? Like, are these people? Did they want them gone?
Well, I mean, this is saying that. So he was a board member for the Global Advisory Board of the Prince Charles Charity. So this is Prince Charles Charity, the Prince's Trust International.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big ass charity brought to you by Prince Charles, the royal family. So you have to wonder, if he was a board member, what did he know? Who's still on the board? Like, why this guy? You know, like, if it were that conspiratorial angle, like, did this guy make some bad deals and they had to get rid of him? Did this guy know more about like some dirt?
Yeah,
maybe the
just
charity
because
did?
you have money, like, but how do you get on the board of something like that?
It's a lot of handshakes and dick rubbing. You know what I'm saying? That's hard to get on.
Like, how do you get on the board of a prince's charity company?
You know people.
You have to know people, and you have to know things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they have to trust you with certain things.
Absolutely. One thing I will say, just to kind of reel back the conspiratorial side, is that, like, I said the same thing about when we talked about the private jet that went down. That had some significant people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anytime that you have somebody that owns a private jet that can afford to go on a submarine to the Titanic, you're talking about you're only going to have the wealthy people doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not shocking that this vessel was carrying millionaires and billionaires, because quite honestly, they're the only ones that are going to be dropping $250K to go on a submarine to the Titanic.
It would be like if the Blue Origin's rocket just blew up in outer space. Right.
Yeah.
Who do you expect to be on that ship?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you could just argue that it's not conspiratorial. It's just the fact that, like, they have the money to do these things that are dangerous. And when they fail, it's like, that's who it is. It doesn't matter who they, donated to, who they've worked for. It's the fact that they are wealthy enough to do it, which is why they're in the situation that they're in.
True.
It's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? You're always like 6 people away from knowing Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
That's the rule. And so it's like, these guys are always 6 degrees away from joining the Illuminati or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's always that close.
Yeah, I mean, I at the end of the day, first and foremost, like, we joke and we're having fun with this, and it's interesting. But, there is a 19-year-old on board. There are 2 men who, one especially has done a lot of crazy things, which you could argue are, like, really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really interesting, cool stuff. Has been decorated multiple times.
He goes ham-ish.
He goes hamish. And, yeah, I mean, it's sad. Because even not even talking about the people running this, the 2 guys, one of them is called Mr. Titanic, man. He's apparently been down there multiple times, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's a sad situation.
Mr. Titanic?
I've heard that called. Yeah, they've called him that multiple times.
Talk about a porn name, bro.
No kidding, dude.
Boom. Here comes Mr. Titanic.
I'm gonna
break you in half.
I'm gonna fill you up with water. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be wet.
Wow.
When I'm done.
I'm gonna sink you. Bitch, get over here.
But at the same time, like I hope that they find them safely. They're still looking, and there's still a chance that they are found alive. And I hope that they are.
Well, I mean, that time's running out.
It's running out, but I'm saying you can't say that it's not possible. We don't know the situation. They're looking for them. And so hopefully they find them. But nonetheless, there are people that are going to lose their lives and families that are going to be devastated.
Yeah.
So I think over the course of the next couple months, after this all blows over, figure out, are they gone? Are they not? I think more information on these people may come out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we can start diving into more of like maybe their backstory. If they are found unalive, maybe we can look at like who did they work with? What were they dealing with? But even in this recent article, it shows a picture of the submarine and it shows the damn remote control, dude. It's like, I don't think that was upgraded right there, dude.
Yeah.
There's the remote, up, down, side to side. This is like a fucking, this is like a Fisher Price fucking toy right here, dude. You know what I mean?
Put in the cheat code. XXAB.
Yeah, right. Cheat code quick. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, man. It's a sad story, man. And it's kind of captivating everybody right now, right? Because the Titanic is this thing that we all grew up with and are intrigued by. It's a huge story in American history and English history.
Maybe they didn't know that they could just return to the previous destination by pushing B.
I think he knew.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Just back out of there. We need to back out of this. Just push B.
The elevator button on the thing did not work.
Smash that B button.
Yeah, it did not work. But, dude, somebody took a shit on that joint, dude. That toilet's not
for
hidden.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That thing is right there. But
that's what I'm saying. I mean, the son probably was like, Dad, I shouldn't have had that chicken sandwich before we left.
Man,
but I just feel like out of all the technology in this world, this is what you build to go down there.
Yeah, man.
Like, you don't even put seats. Like, you're paying $250,000 a person to sit in a pipe.
Well, that thing costs. I mean, the whole operation is costing millions of dollars, guaranteed to do.
That's insane to me. Like,
because
there's so much more technology that could be used to do something like this.
I mean, dude, they spend billions on submarines for the military. Billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And they're pretty like, I mean, they're high tech. No, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying they're pretty rough. You know what I mean? Metal, like there's no, like, not a lot of luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the ones that we've been in that have been decommissioned for the last 50
even
years.
the new ones, I think, are just, like, they're pretty rudimental, like just fucking metal.
How long were these people supposed to be on this thing?
I don't know.
Because why would you make something really comfortable if you're only supposed to be on it for, like, half a day?
Well, yeah, but
the same reason you're going to pay the extra money to ride first class in a plane.
Yeah, but this is like a quick, let's get down there, let's look at it, and then let's get back up.
I mean, this is a private situation.
What do you think riding a plane is?
That's commercial, though. That's commercial. This is not commercial. This is a, like I said, this is probably a self-funded.
Okay, so that'd be like renting a fucking private jet to fly from your house to New York or wherever you're going, and when you get inside, you're all just sitting on the floor.
Maybe it has to do with weight. Like, they don't want a lot of extra.
Could be.
And like screws and bolts and stuff with the pressure, maybe those can pop out, like like that Subway commercial when that guy eats too much and his pant button just pops off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you that like to the extent that Elon should have created this thing. I got to be honest with you. He would have had like, remote seats, put you like vibrating seats.
Because if I'm a billionaire or millionaire or whatever, and they're like, hey, for $250,000 you can take this trip down the bottom of the ocean and see the Titanic. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they show me this, I'm going, fuck off, dude.
Well, maybe
I'm not doing that.
I mean, who gets to see the Titanic, right? In its state that it's in. You're talking about a handful of people in the world that's seen the Titanic.
Yeah.
And so you get this opportunity to, because you got piss money, right? You just have money that you can just piss off and do whatever you want
but at the same time, you're going, I've seen the documentaries of people going down there before. They had stuff way better than this.
I don't know.
Maybe it adds to the intrigue, dude. It's like, oh, this is going to be so rugged and uncomfortable. I can't wait.
I don't know. I mean, he was an explorer.
Maybe it's like, you got a fifth wheel, but you're going to go tent camping.
There you go.
Sure. It's part of. I think it's part of the experience. The just gutting it out and getting down there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting story. I do wish them the best, and I hope they do find them. Either way,
it's just really unfolding right now. So more to come.
Yeah, man. So whether here or not, I hope we find them so they can be, the families can get closure and everything. Hopefully they didn't just get whisked away somewhere. But we'll see, and we'll find out more about these people.
Prayers for the families.
Prayers for the families. Jokes aside, we honestly hope the best for this one, because that would be terrible. But this is why I don't do crazy shit. I got to be honest with you. This is why I don't do crazy shit. Even if I was rich, I probably wouldn't do this. I'd be like, I got a documentary with fucking HD. We just got some great imagery of the Titanic. I'm good.
Yeah, there is a limit to what I do.
Yeah, man.
There is a limit.
Now, I know, Greg, yesterday you had a story that you wanted to bring up that we did not get to.
Yeah, dude. This is, kind of that Orwellian future of facial recognition, and, you're integrating it into businesses now. Businesses are begging for it. So this story combines, the technocratic kind of take over the Orwellian nature of things. It also entwines the defund the police movement, the smash and grab robberies, right? Yeah. The rise of the minimum wage. It combines so much. And I was reading this and I was like, holy moly, this explains a lot. So what this article really is about is this bill that is going to go through, right? Mm-hmm. And this is in New York City, of course. Now, the title of this article is Grocers Cry Foul as New York City weighs ban on Face ID tech that stops shoplifters. Okay? Because there is this proposed bill. It is coming, which follows the city's feud with Madison Square Garden owner James Dolan, blah, 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 blah. But this bill would require private businesses and residential buildings to obtain customers' written consent before their biometric information is captured. All right. So it's like, before you steal something from me, can you write on this piece of paper that you're okay with me capturing your biometric data?
Yeah, that's weird.
So this is saying that such a rule would make it practically impossible for supermarkets to use the technology to combat theft. All right.
Okay, so they want this technology, but they're saying that they have to have a written thing for them to use this technology, and they're saying that's impossible.
Yeah, so the grocers, the people who own the grocery stores and they own like these small businesses, they want the facial identity recognition technology.
Yep.
Because it helps them retain, just stop theft, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, at that point you can ID who's stealing from you with a lot more ease.
Yes. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting, too. It says the bill has gained momentum as some argue that the technology should only be allowed for use by law enforcement, claiming that it increases the risk of racial profiling.
It's not racial profile. If you're doing it, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so now this is the algorithm, Dave, because it says studies have consistently shown that this technology has high error rates for darker skinned people. This is according to a city council member, okay? She says, we're heading down a dystopian path if we're conceding that a facial recognition scan is a prerequisite to buying eggs. All right. Now, I agree with that. I agree. I'm like, yeah, you should not be locking up your froyo because someone's going to steal it. And you should not have to scan your eyeball to unlock the door. But let's look at where this all stems from, right? And this stems from what's his name? The Alvin Bragg, the attorney, the Manhattan District Attorney, who's going after Trump.
Yeah,
the same guy. So what he did was he made it so that way, if you are stealing less than $1,000 worth of goods, it's considered a misdemeanor.
Yeah,
right. So they're not going to prosecute your ass if you don't steal anything over $1,000.
It's the same thing with San Francisco. Which is why they're
yes,
yeah,
right.
Yep.
Now, according to this stat in this article, this is just real quick, and then we'll maybe go back up because there's some interesting things that I've highlighted. In 2022, NYPD officials said that 327 people accounted for 6,660 arrests. So basically, 327 people accounted for 30% of all shoplifting incidences.
So it's the same people doing it over and over again.
Yep.
Yes, because of this Alvin Bragg rule, they get caught, they won't be charged, they get slapped with a misdemeanor, and then they're back out on the streets committing the crime again. That is why the shoplifter or the grocers want this technology, because they're going, hey, we have repeat offenders.
Yep.
once you capture their face, it's easy to recognize them again on this this technology.
So with that quick math, at 327 people, each of them would have to be arrested 20 times each.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah,
for petty crime. I mean, there's people with rap sheets way longer than that.
But bro, I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
So in response, scores of businesses have been investing in this facial recognition technology. Between 30 and 40% of all independent grocers, are using some version of this software.
Yeah.
30 to 40% in New York City have this facial recognition ID stuff.
Yep.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Like, even if you're not using the facial recognition in like live format, like it's like capturing everyone's face in live time. But even if you had it, so if something did happen, you can go back and use it to recognize whoever was there.
Yeah, but they're being forced to use this, and not only forced to use it, but they're begging for it. They're like, hey, this saves me at least $150 a week, this one grocer was saying.
But see, that's the thing, though, is like, even if they capture the people, like the DA is not doing anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the technology seems like, yeah, they might be able to pimp, and a lot of these people are coming in with masks on their face, but a lot of people are they can find out who it is, but they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah,
so
it almost doesn't even matter once you recognize their face, because nothing's going to be done anyway.
I mean,
so what it does is it serves as a deterrent. So in going down into this article, it says this technology will send text message alerting to the staff if the suspicious person is caught on the camera.
Sure.
And there's also a light above the entrance that flashes yellow. So when the software flags somebody suspicious, this light will start blasting off. And he says that this is one grocer. He said some potential shoplifters simply turn around and leave before anyone approaches them. So it is kind of a deterrent. They notice this light going off. They're like, oh, shit, they saw me. You know?
I don't think they care. I got to be honest with you. Most of these people are like, you see on the videos, they're brazen, dude. They just go in. They don't care that people are standing right next to them. And that's where it gets to be problematic, because they just steal. There's like 5 employees all around them. They're just fucking loading up their trash bags.
Yes.
And as soon as an employee like tackles them, or, you know, it's an assault charge.
Well, and that's where it becomes a bigger issue. You may have this facial recognition, but even people knowing that you have it isn't going to be that much of a deterrent if they know that they're not going to be prosecuted for anything.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, what is the point of this facial recognition technology if it does nothing in the end?
Well, I think the hope is that someone would actually do something about it if they had the information of who actually did it for sure.
Well, if they have records.
don't you see how, like, the city and how Alvin Bragg's rule, like, this could simply be solved by just, hey, let's get rid of the misdemeanor shit and make it a felony if you steal things, and then let's lock them up.
Yeah,
right? That's all you have to do.
Yeah, but we're closer to them going to misdemeanor than felony, right? So they just signed off, and even San Francisco had recently signed off on making these things less of a crime. And so the idea that you think they're going to turn that around all of a sudden and admit that they are wrong, I don't think that's
I don't think they're going to turn it around. I'm just saying that's how you solve it. I don't think that they're going to solve it.
But they're not going to solve it. But that goes against what they're, saying to the public, that they want to have less prisoners. But at the end of the day, if you're doing crime, you're doing crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, if you're stealing, you're stealing. And if it happens to be from one group, we got to maybe figure out how we handle this culturally. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we work with the cities and figure out what we got to do? Yeah. But like, this stuff was the reason that San Francisco is losing people left and right is because of this very thing. Target's leaving, Portland, all the Walmarts are gone.
But look at like the progress of how this was implemented. Like, you get rid of the police, or if you do get rid of the police, now you have very few police, so it's more expensive to like maintain them, right? And then you have the smash and grab robberies that were just like groups of people going into stores, smashing the shit, stealing the shit, right? Yeah. That was a big trend happening last year. And then all of a sudden, now you have this need for this facial recognition technology, because that's the only way that we can circumvent these things from happening.
Well, so when you were talking about this yesterday, you were saying that this is like scary, basically. Like what part
combines, of it? That's what I'm saying. It combines all of those ideas into one final. Well, I don't want to say final solution, but it is kind of like this. It's the end road. It's the let's surveil everybody. It's surveillance, right?
But we already
it's
do
not
that.
just
we already
yeah,
do
but
that.
it's not just the robbers, the people who are the thieves.
Yeah.
It's recognizing you, me, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would just argue that like when you walk down the street of any city, you're being surveilled.
I know, but it's just adding to another layer to that cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just making it more fortified. It's another structure that's adding to this whole beast system. So
yeah,
I do find it funny though. This says that critics of the facial recognition software say that the systems can be 99% accurate for middle-aged white men, but get it wrong more than 1 in 3 times for some women of color. So it has a tough time identifying black women. Or black or brown, But I'm just saying, like, some people were saying that's older technology. We've come a long ways. Like those studies that they're referring to are from yesteryear. We now have fixed those things. But if it can't even identify you, like think of those lawsuits too. What if you were misappropriately identified as a thief, and you're like, bro, I'm just here. I want to shop. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not a thief. Like your technology's wrong.
Well, and so that's part of the problem, right? So if you're a small store and you decide to use this technology, you also have to understand the risk of you misidentifying people and having lawsuits against you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's a reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would say, if I was that person, I'd be like, you better prove it. Because, you know what I'm saying? Studies show. And so if they can't prove that it's actually you. Well, here's my thing. I don't know where I sit on this because one of the reasons I don't like surveillance is because I don't like the government surveillance. But like as a small ice cream shop or a fucking local Minute Mart that has the technology, I'm like, it's a local business. Somebody, we all know, even going back to this article I have from 2022, Walmart CEO warns companies will close more stores if theft doesn't slow down. We're all seeing the trend.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're all moving out and they're all getting rid of this shit because they literally can't survive with that much theft.
Yeah.
The government buys the data from these data procurers, like these programs that, you can start out small scale, but eventually I'm sure Walmarts and all these bigger chains have these same kind of programs. And the government uses the data. It buys the data, dude.
It probably
like same
does.
thing with the cell phone data and all this other shit.
Yeah.
They buy that stuff.
So the question would be is where would the data for this kind of software be stored? Like if you were just a tiny Minimart store that had this kind of technology working on your security cameras and stuff like that, where is that information being stored? Is it being stored locally like you just have it, or is it being stored like on Google or something like that?
I mean, a lot of them are hard drives.
From my understanding is you have the local hardware, but then the software connects to a cloud. And that's usually how most of these modern kind of apps work is you download the physical app or the app on your whatever, and then the data gets sent to a server somewhere, right?
Yeah. Dude, I listen, I'm with you that this is a really tough one because private citizens who run businesses are struggling because they're not getting the help that they need from the police. The DA is not helping them when people are, actually arrested. They're getting right back out. They're doing it literally 20 times. You know what I'm saying? And so they're trying to find a way to, hey, in order for me to stay in business, I have to figure something out. So I have a lot of sympathy towards the fact that like they're not getting help from the government or from the local government. And it's tough. At the same time, you don't want to see that.
Doesn't it feel like a trap, though? It feels like they led them down this path to basically say, like, look, your only option is to have this facial recognition program put in.
I think that I don't know, man. At the same time, I think most of them probably understand that this isn't necessarily fixing anything anyways. And I know from working with businesses and restaurants and stuff that like a lot of these companies and businesses are paycheck to paycheck, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not making significant money. And so the idea of putting this huge program with,
it's not
face recognition, like they're just not going to afford that. They just can't. So most businesses are not going to have this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're talking about Walmart, Target, like, major corporations, like, sure. But like any of these mom and pop shops downtown New York City, very few of them are going to be able to afford multiple thousands of dollars for technology. They're just not. They'd rather just close the doors.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I've heard that this technology, they're saying like in the long run, the price for this technology is way less than the price of the stolen goods that they have to,
but that's not true.
The problem is coming up with the money to pay for it up front.
It's up front.
Yeah.
And that's just not true. They can spend $6,000 on this. I don't know how much it actually costs, but you're assuming that that's going to stop them from having the theft. It's not going to stop them. All they can do is
this points to a success story, right? This article does. It doesn't talk about like the people who bought this and it doesn't work. It's talking about like, oh, well, here's a success story. So you have a Morton Williams owner shop.
Mm-hmm.
They installed this software in 16 of their stores throughout the city. Over the past year, the chain has spent over $1 million to hire off-duty NYPD officials to stand guard at the store's exit. So they spent over $1 million for private security. And they're saying that it's just not sustainable. It basically wiped out any profit we had.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. It's just like, what else are you going to do? You can't hire this private security because I guess that costs more. I mean, whatever this technology is for 16 stores, it's less than $1 million a year. And that's what he was paying for the security.
Yeah, but again, $1 million a year for a small business is never going to happen.
In New York City, maybe?
No.
That's the only place that I could see it, but
no.
Yeah.
I call bullshit. Most of these companies and like the people that are getting, listen, CVS, Walgreens, like, yeah, sure, they could spend $1 million because they have multiple stores and they make tons of profit. But I'm talking about just the random people that are getting fucked. Like $1 million is a significant amount of money.
Yeah,
it's significant. Man. And on top of it, it's like you can find the person and recognize them and hope that it deters them. But they can just come, like to Chris's point, they can come in, steal, and know that even if they were caught, they're going to be released tomorrow.
So this doesn't even I don't see anywhere in here where this is actually a success story. It just says that he didn't spend as much money as he did hiring NYPD officials to stand guard.
Yeah, it basically just starts out saying success stories like Garcia's convinced Morton Williams owner, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So like this Garcia guy, I don't know. No, this is a different one. So if you look at this picture of this small store that they have right here.
Yeah.
This is Carlos Calado, who owns Fine Fair Grocery down in Bronx, says that facial recognition technology is saving him at least $150 a week per store. So they own multiple stores. These are like chains, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, but $150 a week in what?
Yeah,
is it just in
profit?
I know, but is he just saving money because he doesn't have to hire security? Or
yes.
Is he saving money because people aren't stealing anymore?
No, he's not having to hire security.
No, people are still stealing from you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still stealing.
Because they're not getting prosecuted once they get recognized.
Yeah.
So you're not saving money from this working and people aren't stealing from you anymore. You're just not having to hire security.
Dude, there's 1,000 videos up right now where you can see security officers in these stores that literally just stand there and call the cops.
Exactly.
And then they run right out and they just go, well, I'm not getting stabbed. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what it is.
This technology doesn't work. So that's my other point too. You guys are making it like, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are we installing this?
You're recognizing people's faces, but you're not stopping anything.
Well, it's because it's desperation, Greg. That's the fucking problem. Is these business owners are underwater right now because the city has let them down completely. And so they're trying to find some way to feel like they're doing something to help stop this. And I'm not trying to be the criticizer, but this is not going to be the problem. Like this guy shows this picture where they have all these photos of people stealing on the wall. Like they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't give a shit. None of those people on that wall cared that their face is plastered. There is no shame in what they're doing. They feel, honestly, that they deserve it.
Is that guy stealing right there, right next to him?
Probably. No, he's a worker. But he could be. The cities that's a really good point, you guys. I mean, so like, admittedly, Alvin Bragg, these larger cities, even
Portland,
San Francisco, right? They're not committing, or they're basically not charging the thieves with the harsher penalty, which is allowing them to create 20 thefts a year,
or with any penalty at that point.
Well, it's going to come down to this: these businesses are going to go out of business. And just like Portland and San Francisco just lost AT&T from San Francisco or whatever it was, Portland lost all of its Walmarts downtown. Most of the Targets are shut down at this point. Even REI left Portland. There's going to come a point where all of them leave and there's nothing left. And if you go to downtown Portland, you'll find a lot of nothing right now. And so when Walmart left, wherever they went to, people were outside protesting, like, how dare you leave? This is a low income shopping. Like, this is an affordable shopping for people who are low income. And, how dare you leave? And it's like, well, how about you blame the right people? Don't blame Walmart for getting their ass handed to them because the local DAs wouldn't do shit about anything, or the cops weren't there to help because they were defunded. How about you take a step back and say, hey, we want to have a safe place to shop. How do we do that? Well, police prosecuting people that do shit like this would be a great start.
That's it.
Get back to
this. That is
shit.
like the number one thing that could solve this is start prosecuting the people properly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again.
Yep.
Like, just change the rule, change the law.
Yeah.
And then see how fast this problem goes away.
Yeah. Pretty much this whole technology doesn't do anything that they say it's going to help you with.
No.
There's no way it would.
But it's just desperation.
But like you said, Greg, the only thing it does do is, depending on how this is stored and how it's used, it does provide data collection profits for whoever is going to be selling it.
Absolutely.
That's about the only thing it would do.
Yeah, so it's just another step in the stairwell to, this whole technocratic kind of surveillance state, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, none of it works if you don't have support from the city.
You guys ever see the movie Eagle Eye?
Mm-mm.
With,
don't think so.
It's about this kid or somebody sees
Is it
something.
about E. coli?
No.
Oh, okay.
They see something he wasn't supposed to see, and then he comes to find out that they have this technology. Like, he's running from the authorities, and they have a way to see him no matter where he is through anything that has a lens.
It's like Enemy at the State or Enemy of the State with Will Smith back in the day.
Yeah.
It's Shia LaBeouf, I think it is, in that movie, Eagle Eye.
Oh, I remember seeing it. I've never seen it, but I know
pretty good.
Oh, Eagle Eye. Dude,
Eagle Eye.
Literally thought you said E. coli.
Oh.
And I'm like, literally,
You weren't joking.
what the hell is this?
Okay.
No.
E. coli.
E. coli will find you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, good story, man. I think it's interesting, but we have a long ways to go. And I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. And it's going to take people realizing that, wow, I have nowhere to shop anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nowhere to go. And people are going to demand, why is it? And then the truth will come out eventually.
Well, yeah, people are going to get to a point where enough is enough. And they're just like, we have to do something about
These
this.
places leaving kills local economies, man.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to face facts at some point. But right now, I don't see this being a huge, other than just having a great photo of them, I don't see this being like a huge thing, dude.
It's not a huge deterrent, right?
Not really. No, because I think if you look at, a lot of people just smile. They go and steal, and they'll look you right in the face, flip you off, and be like, fuck you. You ain't doing shit. And they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. They know that it's just a misdemeanor at best. And that's even if the cops pursue it.
Well, and that's the problem too, is like, there is so much disrespect and so much that they just don't care. Most of it happens in broad daylight now.
Mm-hmm. It does.
They just walk in, walk out.
Yep. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's a weird time. It's a weird time. I don't blame them.
Time.
I don't blame them for wanting to try to figure something out, but I don't know if this is the right path. So
it's not.
Submarines and theft. You know what I'm saying?
Good topics, gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
It was good, man. Hopefully, like I said before, hopefully they find that crew and they get them back safely. If not, let's bring them back regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cheers to you guys. I don't have any drinks, so I'm just going to tug you off.
Oh, tug me.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Tuesday.
We'll see you guys
Yankee.
later.